Welcome to my channel. Have you ever felt that no matter how many English words you learn, no matter how many grammar rules you study, speaking English still feels like climbing a huge wall? You can read English, write English, even understand others when they speak. But when you try to form your own thoughts, your brain seems to freeze. You find yourself translating every word from your own language into English, and it takes too long to say even a simple sentence. What if I told you that this struggle is not because you are not smart or capable, but because your brain simply hasn't learned how to think in English yet? Today, I will show you exactly how to train your mind to think in English naturally, step by step. By the end of this video, speaking English will feel much easier, faster, and more confident. So stay with me until the very end, because the methods I'm about to share can completely change the way you learn English. Chapter 1. Why most English learners cannot think in English. Have you ever wondered why some people can speak English fluently, while others, even after years of learning, still struggle to form simple sentences? You may know hundreds or even thousands of words. You may understand grammar rules perfectly. You may even be able to read English books or watch English shows without subtitles. But when it comes to speaking or thinking in English, your mind slows down, your brain feels heavy, and you keep translating every thought from your native language. This is exactly what happens to most English learners, and understanding why is the first step to solving this problem. The reason is simple, but surprising. Your brain is trained to think in your native language first. From the moment you were born, every thought you ever had was in your first language. When you learned English, your brain didn't automatically switch. Instead, it keeps translating everything. So, when you try to speak English, your mind first forms the thought in your own language, searches for the right English words, checks the grammar in your head, and then finally tries to say it out loud. By the time all this happens, the conversation has already moved forward, and you feel lost, frustrated, or nervous. Think about this. Even if you know a word perfectly in English, your brain still takes extra time to connect it to its meaning because it first goes through your native language. For example, if you want to say, "I am tired," your brain first thinks, "How do I say this in English? Oh yes, I am tired." That little pause may seem small, but in conversation, it feels huge. It slows you down, it breaks your confidence, and it makes speaking English feel unnatural. This problem is not about memory or intelligence, it's about habit. Most English learners have practiced reading, writing, listening, and sometimes speaking, but they have never practiced thinking in English directly. That is the hidden skill that separates fluent speakers from learners who struggle. Think about children learning their first language. They don't translate words from another language. They hear words, connect them directly to meaning, and use them naturally. They learn to think in the language while they are learning it. The same is possible for you in English, but it requires training your brain in a similar way. Another reason learners struggle is because of the way English is taught in schools or courses. Most lessons focus on grammar rules, vocabulary lists, and translation exercises. While these are useful, they do not teach your brain how to automatically form thoughts in English. You may spend hours memorizing long sentences, but when it's time to speak, your brain does not know how to produce new sentences naturally. This is why many learners feel like they know English on paper, but freeze when they try to speak. Here is something important you need to understand. Thinking in English is a skill, and like any skill, it can be trained. You don't need to wait years or study thousands of words before your brain can start thinking in English. You can start small. You can start with very simple sentences. You can start right now, even if it feels slow at first. Every fluent speaker was once where you are now. They started with small steps and gradually trained their brain to think in English automatically. The key is to break the habit of translation. Whenever you think in your native language, you create a pause in your English. Every pause gives your brain a chance to doubt, to hesitate, or to panic. But if you start forming thoughts in English directly, even simple ones like, I am eating, or the sun is shining, you are building a new habit. Over time, these small English thoughts grow into longer sentences, better vocabulary, and more confidence. It is also important to realize that you don't need perfect grammar when you are thinking. Thinking in English is private. No one hears your thoughts. You don't need to worry about making mistakes in your head. Mistakes are part of the learning process, and the more you think in English, the faster your brain will learn to correct them naturally. The goal is not perfection. The goal is fluency of thought. Finally, the first step to training your brain is awareness. Start noticing how often you translate in your head. Start realizing how many opportunities you have to practice English thinking every day. When you wake up, when you eat, when you walk, when you travel, these moments are perfect for practice. The more you notice your thoughts and intentionally turn them into English, the faster your brain will adapt. By the end of this chapter, you should understand one powerful idea. The wall you feel when thinking in English is not permanent. It is a habit, and habits can be changed with consistent practice. You have everything you need, your brain, your inner voice, your daily life, to start this transformation today. All you need is awareness, small steps, and patience. Once you start training your brain to think in English, you will notice that speaking, understanding, and even dreaming in English becomes much easier. Chapter 2. Understanding the inner voice inside your mind. Have you ever noticed that quiet voice inside your head that talks to you all day long? Maybe it's reminding you to brush your teeth, telling you what to do next, or commenting on what you see around you. This is your inner voice, and most people don't realize how powerful it is when it comes to learning English. The truth is, your inner voice is already speaking in your native language. Every thought you think, every plan you make, every observation you notice, it is all first formed in that language. And that, my friend, is why English often feels slow or unnatural. Your mind is busy translating every thought instead of forming it directly in English. The exciting part is this: your inner voice can be trained to speak in English. You don't need a teacher to force it. You don't need complicated exercises or expensive courses. All you need is awareness and practice. This is where the real secret of fluency begins. Most English learners focus on grammar, vocabulary, or listening skills, but they ignore the most powerful tool they already have, the voice inside their own head. Let's understand how it works. When your brain wants to say something, it first thinks the idea. Then, if you are a learner, it translates that idea into English. This extra step slows everything down. But if you start training your brain to think in English directly, that pause disappears. Your thoughts, your words, and your sentences start to flow naturally. You may feel like this is impossible at first, but it is not. Like any skill, it grows with small, consistent steps. So, how do you start using your inner voice in English? It begins with simple daily thoughts. You don't need complex sentences. Start with what you see, what you feel, or what you are doing. For example, when you wake up in the morning, instead of thinking in your own language, say to yourself in English, I am waking up. The bed feels soft. I am thirsty. I need water. These are simple sentences, but they activate your inner voice in English. When you walk outside, describe what you see in English. The sky is blue. The sun is bright. That car is moving fast. While shopping, try thinking, I need vegetables. Tomatoes are fresh. I will buy 2 apples. When cooking, narrate your actions. I am cutting the vegetables. I am boiling water. The food smells good. These small, simple thoughts might feel strange or slow at first, but this is how your brain starts forming new habits. Each thought in English is a tiny step toward fluency. Here's another important point. You don't need to worry about mistakes when thinking in English. No one hears your thoughts. Your brain is practicing freely. Even if your sentence is not grammatically perfect, it doesn't matter. For example, if you think, I am cutting vegetable now, it's okay. Over time, your brain will correct these small errors naturally. The most important thing is flow and habit, not perfection. To make it even more effective, try combining your inner voice with visualization. When you think a word or a sentence, imagine it in your mind. For example, when you say, I see a dog, picture a dog in your head. When you say, the weather is hot today, imagine the sun shining brightly. This method helps your brain skip the translation step and directly connect English words to meaning. It's faster, more natural, and more powerful than memorizing words from a dictionary. The inner voice can also be used to plan your day or reflect on your experiences in English. For instance, in the morning, you can say, Today I will study English. I will practice speaking. I will listen to a podcast. In the evening, reflect. Today was a good day. I practiced English. I saw many new things. I felt happy. When you do this daily, your brain starts thinking in English naturally, not just for small observations, but for your thoughts and plans. Now let's talk about the emotional spike here. Most learners feel frustrated because they think fluency is about memorizing thousands of words or understanding complicated grammar. But here's the exciting truth. You already have the most important tool, your inner voice. By simply guiding it to speak English, you are already doing what most learners struggle with for years. You can start today with nothing but your thoughts and see results within a few weeks if you are consistent. Finally, remember this: your inner voice is private, powerful, and always with you. It can become your personal English coach, practicing, narrating, and thinking in English silently throughout the day. All you need to do is take control of it, give it English sentences, and let it practice freely. The more you use it, the faster your brain adapts, and one day, thinking in English will feel natural. You won't need to translate anymore. Speaking will flow naturally because your inner voice has already been speaking in English for months, silently training your mind. So, start today. Notice your inner voice. Give it English sentences. Describe everything you see, do, and feel in English. Use small sentences, simple words, and visualization. Don't worry about mistakes. The small steps you take today will create big results in the coming weeks. And once your inner voice starts thinking in English naturally, speaking, understanding, and even dreaming in English will become easier than you ever imagined. Chapter 3: The Power of Small Daily Thoughts in English. By now, you understand why your brain translates from your native language and why your inner voice is so powerful. But knowing is not enough. To truly think in English, you need to practice every day. The good news is that you don't need to wait for a classroom, a teacher, or a special moment. Every day is full of opportunities to train your mind to think in English. Even the smallest actions, if described in English, can create big changes in your fluency. The first step is to start small. You don't need long sentences, fancy words, or perfect grammar. Begin with simple thoughts that describe your actions, feelings, or surroundings. For example, when you wake up in the morning, you can say in English, "I am waking up, I feel sleepy, I need water." This simple exercise may feel awkward at first, but it trains your brain to form thoughts directly in English instead of translating from your native language. Next, look around your environment. Every object, every action, every movement can be described in English. When you walk outside, try thinking, "The sun is shining, the sky is blue, people are walking fast." While cooking, narrate your steps. "I am cutting the vegetables. I am boiling water. The food smells good." If you are traveling, describe what you see. "The bus is moving. Children are playing. The weather feels cold." These small sentences may feel basic, but they are powerful tools that slowly train your brain to think in English automatically. The key is consistency. Even if you only practice for a few minutes in the morning or while doing small tasks, it adds up. Your brain begins to form new pathways that connect English words directly to meaning. The more often you think in English, the more natural it becomes. Slowly, simple sentences grow into longer sentences. Short thoughts grow into paragraphs. Descriptions of your day become conversations in your mind. Another important technique is to combine your thoughts with emotions. English is not just words. It is also how you feel about things. For example, instead of thinking, "The food is tasty," you can think, "The food is delicious. I feel happy eating it. When you connect emotions to your thoughts, your brain remembers words and sentences faster. This also makes your English more natural because real conversations are always full of feelings and reactions. Visualization is also a key part of this practice. When you think a word or a sentence, try to imagine it in your mind. For example, when you think, "I see a dog," picture the dog in front of you. When you think it is raining, imagine drops of water falling. When you combine your inner voice with visual images, your brain skips the translation step and directly connects English words with meaning. This makes thinking in English faster and easier. Now, let's talk about practical daily opportunities. Your home, your school, your office, your walks. Everything can be practice. While making tea, narrate. I am boiling water. I am adding sugar. The tea smells good. While walking. The road is busy. Cars are moving fast. I see a red car. While cleaning your room. I am folding clothes. I am arranging books. The room looks neat. These moments are tiny, but they are spikes of practice that create strong habits in your brain. You can also practice thinking in English by planning your day or reflecting on it at night. For example, in the morning, today I will study English. I will practice speaking. I will watch a video. In the evening, I practiced English today. I listened to a podcast. I feel happy with my progress. By narrating your life in English, your brain starts forming patterns of English thinking automatically. This is exactly what fluent speakers do without even realizing it. One of the most important things to remember is, don't worry about mistakes. Thinking is private. No one hears your thoughts. Even if your sentence is not perfect, it doesn't matter. For example, if you think, "I am cooking food now," or "I feel very happy today," it's okay. The brain is learning from practice, not perfection. Over time, grammar, vocabulary, and sentence structure will improve naturally as your brain adapts to thinking in English. The final point is motivation. Many learners stop practicing because they feel it is boring or slow. But here's the truth. Small daily thoughts are the secret to fluency. Each thought in English, each small description of your day, is a building block. With patience and consistency, your brain will start thinking in English automatically. One day you will notice that you are forming thoughts directly in English without even trying. That moment is powerful. That moment is freedom. That moment is fluency. So, start today. Observe your surroundings. Describe your actions, feelings, and environment in simple English sentences. Combine thoughts with emotions and images. Practice a little every day. Your brain will start changing slowly but surely. And remember, the smallest daily efforts are what create the biggest results in your English journey. Chapter 4. Training your brain to connect words with images. By now, you already know how important your inner voice is and how small daily thoughts can train your brain to think in English. But there is another secret that can make thinking in English even faster and more natural. That secret is learning to connect English words directly with images in your mind instead of translating from your native language. This technique is simple, powerful, and something every fluent speaker does automatically. Once you start practicing it, your brain will stop wasting time on translation and start thinking in English instantly. Most English learners make one big mistake. When they learn a new word, they connect it to a translation in their own language. For example, if you learn the word apple, you might think apple means Seb in my language. Then, when you want to say I am eating an apple, your brain first thinks, I am eating Seb, apple, and finally forms the English sentence. That extra step slows everything down and makes speaking English stressful. The key is to remove that middle step and connect English words directly to their meaning using mental images. Here's how it works. When you learn a new word, imagine it clearly in your mind. For example, if the word is apple, picture a red, shiny apple in front of you. Don't think about its translation. Just imagine it. When you think, I am eating an apple, the image appears in your mind first, and the English sentence comes naturally. Your brain starts linking English words directly to meaning instead of translating them. This is exactly how children learn their first language. They connect words to things they see and feel, not to other words. The same method works for verbs, actions, and emotions. For example, when you learn the verb run, imagine someone running fast, their legs moving quickly, the wind on their face. When you think the sentence, I am running in the park, the image of running comes first, and your brain automatically chooses the correct English words. For emotions like happiness or anger, picture the feeling, a smiling face, a frown, or someone laughing. Connecting words to images strengthens your brain's ability to think in English without pauses. This technique also works for abstract ideas. For example, if the word is freedom, imagine someone standing on a hill with open arms, feeling the wind. If the word is success, picture someone reaching a mountaintop or winning a medal. When you connect words to clear images, your brain no longer needs to translate from your native language. It starts thinking in English directly, which is the ultimate goal of fluency. One of the best ways to practice this is during daily life activities. Let's say you are walking in the park. Instead of thinking in your own language, notice the things around you and create images in your mind while naming them in English. The sun is shining. Picture the sun bright in the sky. Birds are flying. Imagine birds moving in the air. The grass is green. See the green grass below your feet. These mental pictures make thinking in English faster, easier, and more natural. Another important tip is to use imagination while learning new vocabulary. Don't just memorize lists of words from a book. Instead, imagine a small story or scene for each word. For example, if you are learning the word library, picture a quiet place with rows of books, people reading, and someone checking out a book at the counter. If you are learning rain, imagine drops falling, people with umbrellas and puddles forming on the ground. This technique turns boring memorization into a fun mental game, and your brain absorbs English faster. You can also combine this with your inner voice. While imagining an image, say the sentence in English in your mind. For example, see the apple and think, I am eating an apple. See someone running and think, he is running fast. Picture someone laughing and think, she feels very happy. This combination of inner voice and visualization trains your brain on multiple levels. You are seeing, thinking, and speaking in English simultaneously. Here is an emotional spike for you. Imagine yourself thinking in English without translation. Imagine describing everything around you, planning your day, reflecting on your life, all directly in English. That is the power of connecting words to images. It feels natural, fast, and effortless, and it is exactly what fluent speakers do every day. You can reach that stage too, but only if you practice this simple method consistently. Finally, remember that consistency is more important than perfection. Start with small objects and simple actions, and gradually expand to more complex ideas. Every image you create and every sentence you form in English strengthens your brain's ability to think directly in English. Over time, your mind will automatically link English words with meaning, translation will disappear, and thinking, speaking, and understanding English will become natural and fast. Start today. Pick something around you. Visualize it in your mind. Name it in English using your inner voice. Repeat it often. Soon you will notice that your brain begins to form English sentences without hesitation. This simple technique is one of the fastest ways to train your mind to think in English and take your fluency to the next level. Chapter 5. Surrounding your mind with English every day. By now you understand the power of your inner voice and how connecting words to images can make thinking in English faster. But there is one more critical step if you truly want to train your brain. Immersion. Immersion means surrounding yourself with English as much as possible in your daily life. The more your brain hears, reads, and sees English, the more it will adapt and begin thinking in English naturally. And the best part is, you don't need to live in an English-speaking country to do this. You can create immersion right where you are. The first and easiest step is to listen to English every day. This can be music, podcasts, audiobooks, or videos. Don't worry if you don't understand everything at first. Your brain is like a sponge. It is absorbing patterns, sounds, and sentence structures even if you only understand a few words. For example, when you listen to someone saying, I am going to the market, your brain starts recognizing the structure of the sentence. Over time, your inner voice begins to repeat similar sentences without you consciously translating them. This is how your brain gets comfortable with the rhythm and flow of English. Another important step is to read simple English materials daily. This could be short stories, news articles, or even captions on social media. While reading, try to imagine what you are reading and say it in your mind in English. For example, if the sentence is, the dog is running in the park, picture the dog and repeat the sentence silently. This way you are combining reading, visualization, and inner voice practice, all at the same time. Even 10 minutes a day of consistent reading in English will help your brain start forming English thoughts naturally. You can also change your environment to English. Start with small things. Change the language on your phone or computer to English. Write your shopping lists in English. Send short reminders to yourself in English. Label items in your house with their English names. These small steps may feel strange at first, but they push your brain to get used to English in daily life. Every time you see the word water on a bottle label or chair on a sticky note, your brain connects it directly to English, reducing translation in your head. Another powerful method is to think in English during your free time. Instead of letting your inner voice talk in your native language, narrate your day in English. For example, while walking, I am walking to the store. The sun is shining. I see many people. While cooking, I am cutting vegetables. I am boiling water. The food smells good. These moments are hidden practice sessions that make your brain fluent without you even noticing. The more often you do this, the faster your thoughts will naturally switch to English. It's also important to use English when interacting with others, even in small ways. If you have friends learning English, try speaking in English with them. Send short messages in English. Join online groups or forums where people speak English. Don't worry about mistakes. What matters is practice and exposure. Every conversation, even a small one, strengthens your brain's ability to think and respond in English naturally. One common fear among learners is making mistakes. This fear stops many people from surrounding themselves with English. But here's the truth. Thinking and listening in English are private, and mistakes are part of learning. Your brain is not judging you. It is learning patterns. The more you expose yourself to English, the less you will fear mistakes, and your confidence will grow naturally. This is a key emotional spike in your learning journey because once you stop fearing mistakes, English starts feeling easier, lighter, and even fun. Another effective tip is to immerse yourself in English content that you enjoy. Watch shows, movies, or YouTube videos about topics you love. Listen to songs or podcasts that interest you. The more enjoyable the content, the more your brain absorbs English effortlessly. When you are relaxed and interested, your brain remembers words, phrases, and sentence structures much faster. English stops being a subject you study and becomes a natural part of your life. Finally, remember that immersion is about consistency, not perfection. Even small steps each day add up to big results. 10 minutes of listening, reading, or narrating in English daily is better than an hour once a week. The key is to make English part of your environment, part of your daily routine, and part of your thinking. Over time, your brain will adapt, and you will find yourself thinking, speaking, and even dreaming in English without realizing it. Start today. Listen to English. Read in English. Write in English. Change your surroundings to English and speak in English whenever possible. Combine these practices with your inner voice and visualization. Your brain will gradually form new pathways, and thinking in English will become second nature. When this happens, speaking English will feel effortless, your confidence will soar, and your learning will transform into a natural, enjoyable habit. Surrounding your mind with English every day is the key step that turns small efforts into lasting fluency. Chapter 6. The simple daily routine that builds English thinking. By now you understand why your inner voice, small daily thoughts, visualization, and immersion are so important for thinking in English. But all these techniques will only work if you put them into a daily routine. Consistency is the key to building fluency. The brain learns best when practice becomes a habit, not just something you do once in a while. Today, I will guide you through a simple, step-by-step routine that you can follow every day. This routine will train your brain to think in English naturally, from morning to night, and it does not require hours of study or complicated methods. Start your day the moment you wake up. Instead of thinking in your native language, greet your day in English. For example, "Good morning. I feel sleepy. I am waking up now." Take a few minutes to describe your immediate environment in English. The sun is shining.